Hello, this is Jeremy Port. My student number is 101-367-286. This is a video for my crafting midterm, and I'll just be going over the thing itself when I show it off, and then we'll get into things, how it's easy for developers to use and everything. So here's the crafting. I have this sample scene here. It starts you off with 10 wood, 1 coal, 2 sticks, and 8 cobblestone. But you can always get more sticks by using the wood. So here I can demonstrate one thing. If I right click this log here, it can split the stack in half, and not only that, you can right click it again and it'll split in half again properly with the 3 and 2 instead. So we can go over here and make some wooden planks. So I can go over one thing that I didn't manage to do was make the crafting recipes dynamic, and that was just due to the way I coded the crafting system, and it would have caused me to do a pretty heavy revamp on how the crafting system works, and unfortunately due to time constraints I wasn't able to manage that. But anyways, the other one thing I didn't do was when you place an item in here, it will instantly craft. So instead of it just like holding it in there and you can take this out, the problem I was running into was the output slot was not detecting the item as soon as it was crafted, but it would detect it after you would grab an item. So let's say I can make this torch item here. You'll see another thing. There's 2 sticks and 1 coal. The sticks will not be fully consumed because there's 2 sticks, 1 coal. That'll only make 4 torches. So when I put it in there, there'll be 1 stick left, and the torches were crafted. And I can split it and everything like that. Another thing is you can't pick up items or place them when you're hovering over another item. So yeah, that took a little bit to get working, but yeah, all of the items snap onto grids. So you can pick them up, place them down, like that. Let me go over the rest of the recipes. So we did planks. Can make some more planks. Sticks. So like I said, it's not dynamic, so you'll have to always put them in this corner. That's how I put the crafting recipe. Also, you can see that it does detect the item after you pick up something in the output slot here. So when you have items over here, when there's already something in the output slot, you can't make more, but once you pick it up, then it allows it to craft. So we have a lot of sticks here. We'll make some more planks real quick. When you're picking up an item, you can right click to drop one of them, and we can just make a sword, and we can also make sticks, more sticks. Can also make a pickaxe, like that. One thing I didn't get to is you can't stack them on top of each other. I'm sure I could have done that with a bit more time, but yeah, you can see my inventory is getting a bit messy now. But yeah, I think that was all the crafting recipes. Yep. I did add furnace as a bonus just because it's pretty easy to add so it is pretty easy to add new recipes. I'll show that in a second, but there's a crafting table as well. I will demonstrate adding a recipe in this video. So yeah, that's how the crafting system works. Obviously you can see that I didn't hit everything, but we'll move on to the code. Let me just open up all of them. And here we go. So let's start with we'll start with the easy ones first. So slot has a value of item in slot. So that's just whatever items in that slot. We have the item prefab, which can get set to item in slot when it needs to be reset. And if it's holding an item. So here we have on trigger stay. So if the item in the slot is not null, and when the item is not picked up, or the slot is not holding an item, it will set the item in the slot to the item that it's colliding with. It will set the item that's colliding's position to the slot, and it will set holding item to true. And when you pick an item up, which you'll see in the mouse script in a second, it changes the tag for the item, because there's actually a moving item tag when you're moving an item around. Yeah, so it sets the item in slot to the item prefab to reset it, and sets holding item to false when the item collider exits, which now you'll see in the mouse, which the mouse is a little, there's quite a bit here to break down, but yeah, here's some mouse, that's just like the mouse detection code, and let me fix that formatting a little bit. And then we'll go over here. So if the hit collider is not null and it's colliding with either an item or moving item, so that's just if this will become true. We'll just do this code for both of them. So this is if they want to drop the item. So if it's picked up and the item is colliding with a box, then it can drop the item. But if it's not colliding with the box, it can't drop the item. So you can't drop it off the side of the screen. If the item is, if item picked up is false, then it will run this. So if it's, if the mouse is not holding, which actually is not getting used anymore. So let me just get rid of that real quick too. So if the tag is now item, then it disables the collider of the object when it's item, and then it re-enables it. So that triggers the on-trigger exit, because if the item is just sitting on top and you change the tag, it doesn't trigger the on-trigger exit. So I had to make sure I changed that. So it quickly turns it on and off, and that triggers when it gets picked up. Here's the right-click stuff. It's a little messy, but when you are holding an item and you right-click it, it'll instantiate a new item, set some of the dropped item info to the one that you're holding, and set its amount to 1, and set the clicked item's amount to minus. So technically you could do this one without doing this, because if you'll see in a second on item that if the amount of items is 0, then it will delete the item. So here, this is when you pick up a stack, it'll instantiate a new object, it'll change the new object's tag to moving item because it'll be in your hand. And then, yeah, so, yeah, that's that one. I also did here where this is if clicked item amount modulus 2 will be either 0 or 1, depending on if it's an even or odd number, and that way the stack splits properly. We'll move on to item. Item has a lot more things. When it starts, it sets the mouse, because it also detects where the mouse is just to set its position. Sprite it also sets the sprite renderer, because the sprite renderer is based off of or like the item type is based off the sprite renderer, the values in the sprite renderer. Sorry about that. Let me just change that. So if the item's picked up, it'll follow the mouse position, and it will switch the tag to moving item, and then when it's not picked up, it'll switch back to item. And this changes the amount text to a string, so you can actually see how many items there are there. And when it's when it's colliding with slot, and the slot is not holding an item, it'll be in the box. And when it's exiting slot, it'll not be in the box. So that's just to detect whether or not items in a box, so you can place it down again. Crafting is the complicated part. Like I said, it's not dynamic, but I can show you how easy it is to add a new thing for developers. So we'll just go through. There is a class called crafting recipe. This is what the recipes are made of. So there'll be an integer of 9 slots, integer array of 9 slots, and you can see here I labeled all of them. The grid size can be changed pretty easily. I could demonstrate this in the video, but it would probably take just like a few minutes. Too long for the video though. But yeah, you just have to make sure you know the arrangement of slots you're doing, and you'd have to change the crafting recipes a little bit. The result is what kind of the item type that it's going to be, and the amount is how many items that this recipe will produce. So like torches is 4 torches. So you can see here there's the array of slots that are in the crafting table, the output slot, which I set as a separate one just to be cleaner. Crafting recipes, so it's an array of crafting recipes. And if the output is holding something, which actually has 0 references again, so I'll just clear that. And the item prefab, just in case, or it's when you instantiate a new item when you craft it. So here are the crafting recipes. They're all in start. Could be in a function, but they're here right now. And here we have plank recipe. So you can see here that the planks will be generated when you put a log, which is item type 0. You can see up here all the item types. And when the log is down here, it's 0, and result is 1, which is planks, you can see here, and amount of planks is 4, which, yeah. So implementing these are pretty easy. You can just see it's a simple little grid system. So what I'll do in this video is I'll quickly implement a diamond block, and you'll see how easy it is. This is where the recipes get added, and there, a bit cleaner. And yeah, that adds the recipes to crafting recipe. In the update, it just checks in a for loop if it can craft something, and there's nothing in the output. And in can craft, here we have if it checks if there's any items in the slots, and if it checks any items in the slots are not valid to a recipe, then both of these will return false. But if it is valid to a recipe, then it will return true. And so when it crafts, it will it makes an amount variable where it's going to set to the max integer variable, because amount will be whatever. It could be set to something just generally pretty high, but I wanted to make sure it was the max. And here we have so we want this amount variable to add up when you start when things are getting crafted. So we don't want, like for the torch, when there's 2 sticks and 1 coal, we don't want the 2 sticks to be consumed as well. As well as we want this amount to demonstrate how many are going to get produced. So if there's 10 logs, we want it to make 40 planks. And so this will iterate through, and amount will be the lowest amount of the lowest number in slots. So whatever the lowest amount is, which if in that case for the planks, if it's 10 logs, then that's the lowest amount. But if it's 1 coal and there's 2 sticks, then amount will be 1. And we'll see here when it's deleting things, it will minus equal amount, and if it's 1, so it'll only get rid of 1 stick. And you can see here, if amount is 0, then it'll destroy the game object. And over here, just have the item in slot to set back to the default item prefab. Down here, just creates the item which is equal to the recipe result, and what the type is equal to the recipe result, and the amount is the recipe amount times amount of items that are getting crafted. So that's the recipe. I'll quickly show really fast on how to implement a new item. So when we'll go here, I have a sprite for a diamond. We'll quickly add that to the prefab, and then we'll add the diamond block one too. And so here you can see the prefab. 10 is diamond block, 10 is diamond, 11 is diamond block. We'll scroll up in the crafting. We'll quickly make note of this. Diamond is equal to 10, and diamond block is equal to 11. And then we'll quickly go down here. We'll just quickly copy the recipe. Call it diamond block recipe. We'll quickly add it over here. Diamond block recipe. And then we'll change the result to 11, as you can see here. And the diamond block is crafted by filling the whole thing with diamond blocks. So here we want to just replace all the 8s with not 9s, but 10s. So as we replace all of these with the 10s, that means when every single slot is filled with a diamond. How many blocks does it make? It makes only 1, so amount is okay to stay as 1. And that's a whole new recipe. So we're done with that now. We can quickly drag and drop a new item to this slot. And we can quickly change the amount to 9, as that's how many diamonds we're going to need. And the item type to 10, because that's diamonds. I think, yeah, 10. And so we'll save, we'll press play. We'll grab the diamonds. We'll quickly put them into every single slot. And there we go, there's a diamond block. And that's how simple it is to add a new recipe to this system. We could add the diamond recipe again, where all of the we'll quickly just add that one too. So we'll do diamond recipe, and we'll just change this to 11, and the result will be 10 and 9 diamonds. We'll just quickly add diamond recipe, and we already got that one down too. So you can now undo the diamond block. Unfortunately, it's not dynamic, so I can't just put the diamond block anywhere on the crafting table for it to work. It has to be in that corner. But yeah, that's how easy it is to add to add a recipe to the system, and it's very simple for developers to use. I created a package which just has this whole folder in it, which has the prefabs, which is only just the crafting system, inventory, item, and slot, but you don't even have to touch any of those other than items. There's 2 scenes. This is the one that developers could use for their game, and there's only 4 script files, so it's easy to manage. There's a lot of sprites I made and not as many recipes, and then it also imports the Text Mesh Pro stuff. So yeah, that's this video. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.